Paris, who was gonna do the whole loop with us, has decided he's just gonna do the Collegiate West and fly on back to New Jersey. Me and Nico will be continuing, so we'll be flip-flopping back to Denver, finishing up in the San Juans after. Nature can do whatever nature wants to you. You're at the mercy of the mountains. Wow. Hey hikers, Muppet here with Good Nature Trails. So we wrapped up the Collegiate West, Recon and Paris went home, leaving just me and Nico to continue what we started. So Nico and I got dropped off at the Waterton Canyon trailhead. Being without Paris and Recon, it was a little daunting and definitely a bit intimidating. Nico and I, before this, we didn't have really that much hiking experience. We did a couple of miles here and there along the Appalachian Trail. Hiking with just Nico, it was, we made it fun for ourselves. We always joke around anyway, so we were just finding anything we could joke about. Throughout the beginning of Waterton Canyon, there was just a bunch of dams, and every time we'd see a dam, it was just like, damn.
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 Guys, where are we?
That to us was just really funny. Yeah, he's one of my best friends and I love hiking with him. I do kind of owe it to him for basically planning the whole trip. Paris said he wasn't able to do the whole thing with us. Nico handled that planning to make sure that he could do the Collegiate West. I'm glad I have him as one of my best friends. Howdy everybody. The trail has been super nice today, super flat. Yesterday was the first day on the Colorado Trail that it didn't rain on us. It is just me and Nico out here. No more Paris. Recon is long gone. Now it's just the two of us. This part of the trail is significantly easier than the collegiates. That is the plus side of starting with the hardest part of the trail and flip-flopping back. We are just breezing through this. I'm not out of breath anymore. I'm feeling good. Going to Rock Creek today. It's apparently a lot of cows because I've been stepping around a lot of cow shit today. So let's talk about poop. I've noticed the trail community really, really embraces this. A big topic of conversation in my experience with the trail was poop. When people were finding their campsites, picking out their spots, they'd get their flat plot of ground for their tent and everything, and then they'd start looking around and just casually say oh, don't mind me, I'm just looking for a spot to poop in the morning. So the process of pooping on the trail kind of goes like this. Step one, you get your handy dandy little shovel. You dig your cat hole. The rule of thumb is to dig 6 inches wide and 6 inches deep. The squatting position, step two, I've noticed a lot of people have different ways of doing this. Some like to hold on to a tree in front of them and squat down, Some people, like me, do the crab attempt, You use your back arm and lift yourself up like a crab. Step 3, wipe yourself. I had some baby wipes too because, you never know after that taco seasoning on your ramen noodles how you're going to feel in the morning. And remember, carry out your wipes, leave no trace. And that brings us to step 4. Bury the poopy and pat it down, make it look like you were never there. And that's how you poop on trail. Hello everybody. Today we are taking a hitch into Jefferson, which is super exciting. We get a hot meal. Today's a pretty heavy day. Nico is probably making the tough decision to hop off a trail come Breckenridge. Plans change, life happens. Regardless, he still did 100+ miles and he summited Mount Elbert. No problem. There goes a biker. I met a pretty cool biker who thru hiked the Colorado Trail in 2015. Gave me some good advice. And he's an older guy. His legs don't work exactly the way they used to. Accepting help and support is important if you want to still be able to enjoy the outdoors and your legs can't hike the way they used to. why not accept the support from two wheels? Little mind-opening experience, I guess. Just a tiny one. So the next morning at camp, Nico broke the news to me that he was not going to be continuing the Colorado Trail once we got into Breckenridge. That was tough to hear, you know. He was my buddy. We planned this trail together, and when he told me, we had a bit of a moment together, and Nico had a lot to be proud of. He hiked nearly 200 miles of the Colorado Trail. He climbed Mount Elbert, the second tallest peak in continental U.S. and the highest peak along the Rocky Mountains in the U.S. And going from, like I said, a couple of section hikes along the AT to 200 miles in the Colorado Trail, like, that's a lot. Nico told me, and a lot of things were going through my mind at that time, like, what's it going to be like when I'm alone, when I don't have a friend to joke around with, when I don't have someone to fall back on and get constant support from. It's not like I have service out there. I can't call a friend and be like, hey, today's been tough, So a lot of that was just going through my mind. I was pretty scared to be alone. But by this point of the trail, Nico and I had, ran into... Oh, yeah.
Your hood is like levitating behind you.
I was definitely scared about being alone. But at this point of the trail, Nico and I had met a couple of other thru hikers. One guy who really sat with me, he was an older man. He was technically just section hiking. Throughout his experience, he section hiked a couple of different areas of the trail, and this was the last area he needed a section hike to have every mile of the Colorado Trail under his belt. But his name was Relentless Ed. As of now, I am planning on continuing solo. I don't want to say alone, because I was talking to someone who goes by the name of Relentless yesterday. In fact, he was saying how his wife is always worrying about him hiking out here alone. And he said, you never hike alone. At the time I was like, oh yeah, good point, That little statement is hitting a lot more close today after after the news. He reminded me that when you're hiking on the trail, you're never truly alone. I had no clue who this guy Relentless Ed was a couple of days ago, and then I was at the same campsite as him multiple nights, and sitting around the campfire with him, talking to him basically every day. Like, you're really never alone. You still get to shoot the shit with people, even if you don't know them, because no matter what, everyone on that trail has one thing in common, and that is that they all are experiencing the same things that you are experiencing. That's an instant connection right there. Ed, if you happen to be watching this, those simple words you said the other day are hitting pretty close to home right now. And probably will be throughout the rest of my hike. And yeah, just loving the scenery, loving everything out here. By the time Nico told me the news, some decision making had to be done. We were only, I think, one day away from getting to Breckenridge, and that's where Nico was gonna hop off. Nico was gonna stay in Colorado for another extra week, and he was just gonna see how I was doing alone. So I was gonna continue from Breckenridge down to Twin Lakes, where we started the Collegiate West, and then he would pick me up from there, and I would make my decision after my week of hiking alone if I wanted to continue hiking alone, or if he was just going to pick me up and back to Jersey we go. Had Relentless Ed not said those words to me, that you're never alone on trail, I don't know if I would have even tried to continue after Breckenridge if I didn't hear those. So, thank you, Ed. Just set up camp, and a big storm came rolling in as I was halfway through setting up the fire. And it was a good fire. This is actually South Park, so any South Park fans out there, this is what it's named after. See, it's so pretty over here, so beautiful, and then there's a storm. We're going into Breckenridge today, which is really exciting. Pumped to shower. It's been 8 days, and I smell. It's also a bittersweet day. Today is the last day that I'll be on the trail with Nico, which is a bummer. And I don't know what the future holds, but we shall see. I'm gonna continue trying to push on without my buddy Nico. You know, giving myself like 5 days of trial day, because I've never hiked like alone before. So I'm giving myself a few days to kind of figure it out, and I'll make up my mind by Twin Lakes. It was Nico's last day on the trail, and it was pretty, you know, pretty bittersweet. We were having a good time. We were going into Breckenridge. That last part of the hike was really, really awesome. We were doing 13 miles into Breckenridge, and I ended up stopping under this bridge and waiting to catch up with Nico again. Nico was, you know, taking his time, savoring his last day on trail and just enjoying it. So the shuttle picks us up in half a mile that way. I'm under the shaded bridge, so I'm just gonna hang out here until Nico gets here. There he is. So while I was kind of sitting under that bridge, I remember like thinking about what it was like to hike with Nico and why I love hiking with Nico so much. Without a doubt, Nico is the reason why I got into hiking in the first place. Nico got me into camping, Nico got me into hiking, Nico got me into thru hiking, which, you know, I owe him a lot for that. But yeah, you know, it was time for his last day on trail to end, and we took there's a really cool free shuttle that brings you into Breckenridge from the trail, which is really cool. So we went into Breckenridge, we went axe throwing, which was a lot of fun. We got Chinese food. We went to a brewery that was right next door to our hotel, and you know, we had a good time. And I didn't film much in Breckenridge just because, you know, I was just trying to enjoy my time with my buddy in Colorado before he went back to Jersey. So we went forward with the plan to see if I wanted to continue the thru hike alone. So I was gonna hike the next 5 days by myself, and when I got to Twin Lakes, I was gonna decide if I wanted to finish this thru hike. But we'll talk about that next video. Anyways, I'm Muppet, and I'll see you on the trail.